Alright guys, we're back with another Muay Thai video, and I'm going to go through today the 3 biggest mistakes I made when I first started training. And I've got my coach here to run through some of the things he did to correct that. And also I'm just going to roll some training footage and just to show you what we do in our sessions. Alright, enjoy. We're going to go through the 3 mistakes that I had most trouble with when I started training. So the first one I want to go through is actually the hands coming down when we're training. So I have a habit of just after a while, combos, maybe even after one combo, my hands are down. So I've got Sarmad here, he's a professional fighter, and he's going to tell us what tip to take in order to rectify that issue.
Get a coach who will smack you when you're not looking. Now, I would say, guys, a good place to start, anytime you're trying to correct a technical thing, the most important thing is connecting mind to body. So a lot of the times you'll be moving through the motions and not know where parts of your body are. So in Lane's case, it's his hands being down. Stand in front of a mirror, move around, do the same combination, and just watch what your hands are doing. If you want to go a step further, what I do is I get 2 objects. I use tennis balls in my day, and I'd put my knuckles on the tennis balls and I'd move around. Okay, I'd gallop around different directions, move my head. Just make sure I get used to the feel of holding my arms up.
Next one, my next most unlearned thing that took me a long time to learn is actually turning over the hips while you kick a roundhouse. Okay, so a lot of the times I start off with this, the nut shot. So now I know how to turn the hips over so my shin hits the body. What is your number 1 tip for turning over the hips?
My number 1 tip is spend time with your lover on Valentine's Day. Come with me, I'll show you guys.
Let's go.
Okay guys, so 2 things we need here when we're turning over the hips. One is good hip extension and good hip internal rotation. So that can be hard to do when you don't really have a target. What I like to get people to try is turn over to a wall. Okay, so you actually have a surface to meet. So what I'm trying to do when I throw my kick is I want to lead out with a bit of hip extension, come up, and then go into hip internal rotation, right? And by the end of that, all of the front of my leg should be sticking to the wall. And it should look like this. Just like that. So that's a good way to start, and that should show any deficiencies you have. So let's say I throw my kick and I land here. Well, there's no hip extension. So then I know I need to push my hip out. And that's a good marker there, I would say.
Final one. This is the one I thought I was doing right, but I was doing wrong. So it's extending your punches, making your arms long as you can so you can get more range out of it. So I think we all punch like this. Am I correct?
I'd say you're right, yeah.
All right, what is the number 1 tip?
Okay, number 1 tip. So when we're throwing our punches, the biggest thing is full rotation of your spine, okay? And sometimes when we're a bit tense in our shoulders, we might stop that, and we might get a little bit of rotation followed by a roll of our shoulder forward. Okay, so we'll end up looking like this. Go, give us a demonstration, Lane. Okay, so one thing I do is I like to set up a band, and I set it up behind me, let's say on a pole. All right, there's no poles here, but if there was a pole, I'd set up to a pole, and I would hold that band nice and tensile, and then I would punch out, and then feel my spine come back, rotate back. And you can actually swap that with the jab side too, and do the same thing so that you're throwing with your right hand and then your left hand is actually getting pulled back by the band. That should stop you from going only halfway. Another thing that's good is you get a medicine ball. I'm sure Lane's incorporated this into his training, but really working rotation and counter rotation, which is you're stopping, you're using your core to stop, catch, come back, stop, catch, and throw again. Those 2 exercises I find will help a lot.
All right, thanks, coach. Those were 3 tips for beginners, especially for me when I first started. So make sure you drill those in, and then we can start learning some cool shit. So next video.
Like a T-Rex.
All right, thanks, mate.
Thank you.
All right, so in today's session, it was the last session for the year, just before the Christmas break. So we're doing stuff that we don't usually do, which is some spinning stuff. So today we're doing some spinning back fists. And I've never actually learned this at all. I've seen people do it. I've done a spinning elbow, but back fist is my first time. So here's Rachel going through that, and you can see she's getting progressively better as we do the so many reps. And then we added a little bit of freestyle in between. But here is the next combo. We're going to do a spinning overhand right. And I said to her, that spin creates so much power. It's actually more powerful than a regular cross. Yeah, really cool to see the progress. And this is the coach going through our drills. So this is the next drill, more spinning stuff. Spirit of Christmas, we do spinning stuff. And this is where you split the pads or the hands or the gloves, and you go for an elbow into a spinning elbow. And just putting it all together. And as you can see, Rachel's getting progressively better. This was actually a really fun combo. And here's me with the first combo, and we just adding a little bit of freestyle. And it took me a few times to get this. Unfortunately, I didn't have much footage of me today in this session. But Rachel's much better than me at this kind of stuff. She used to do ballet, so she's used to spinning around. So one of the things I've definitely still not improving on is my hands. They're still kind of down. And also just trying to get longer punches. So that's why I did those tips today. I missed that check there. And you do get kind of tired, you're moving around a lot. That's not like when I first started. And that's the end of the session. So yeah, not what we typically do in a session. We usually focus on some fundamentals, but Christmas time, coach said we've got to do some spinning stuff. But hopefully those tips worked out for you and you can apply it to your training. And if you like this kind of content, hit the like button, comment down below if you've done something similar, and subscribe to the channel.